reflecting on the past couple of months, even past couple of weeks, it seems that you guys are always kind of in the news. But I mean, you know, not the news, but
it's been a blur really these last few months. It's been a long tour, but a great tour as well.
It's been pretty full on. Like, relentlessly every day. You know, you play a gig, drive for 4 hours after, then drive 6 hours the next day. You know, constantly on the move. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and it's been a lot of travelling as well.
We're earning our stripes.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, can you tell, like, gradually since when you started to now, like, are more and more fans coming to see you? Like, I mean, I know that you've opened up for a couple of people, you've had some headline shows, but you're noticing more and more people singing more than just headlights at this point?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's actually really surprising, even in the early days of coming out here. I think one of our first shows on this tour was in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and a woman came and had the tattoos from the closing song on the album Born Alone. She had the lyrics tattooed on her leg.
Wow.
And it was just mind-blowing. You know, we have quite a few fans in Europe have got tattoos and stuff, but when you come this far from home and people have got it here, it's kind of quite, humbling.
That's a lot better than the guy who had the Romney thing. There's
I saw that.
Did you see that guy?
Yesterday,
Yeah, I mean, there could be worse tattoos. I mean, that's not bad. So talk to me a little bit about, you've been on the road, you've been touring rigorously and all that stuff. Is it starting to get to a point where you're kind of tiring out at all, or are you still kind of the same gung-ho band, like, hey, let's sell our stuff?
We all joke about this in the van quite a lot, don't we? I think, no, we're loving it. We've worked out we'll have been in America for about 8 months this year.
Out of 12, yeah.
Out of 12, so we're quite proud of that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's quite important.
Yeah, it's quite important. No, some days, like everybody, you miss home sometimes, and you miss your dogs or your dog, or home comfort of your own bed.
Right.
We've got a stack. I collect all the hotel keys, and I've got a stack like this from just this tour. So yeah, it does sometimes. You have moments where you're tired and stuff, but when you get out and play a good show and there's an amazing crowd, or even if there's just a couple of people singing, like you said, words beyond headlights, it's quite, it puts you in a good place and it reminds you of why you're doing it.
Well, let's talk. I want to talk about headlights just a little bit, because it seems I'm a big Alt Nation fan with Sirius XM, and it feels like right off the bat those guys really got behind. It's funny. I do this with a lot of bands. I interview them, and I find that the Alt Nation is the comments thread a lot of times where I'm like, it's so refreshing that it's kind of old school, where DJs find new music, they play it, they let the listeners decide. Yeah. Do you find that with those guys, or just anyone in general?
To be honest with you, in general, with all of the alternative stations that we've been to, they've been really welcoming. They've had a lot of faith in the song and the album, actually, because they've all got the album now. And no, it's been amazing for us, isn't it, really? So.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because a lot of the stations in the US look to Sirius and Alt Nation for what they're playing and what people are listening to. And they have been really good supporters. We've only done sessions with them, and they've been playing lots of tracks off the record and also acoustic stuff we did when we were there. So it's really cool.
Talk to me a little bit about like road life. Are you guys I know you just released a new album, so I'm not being an asshole like, when's the next one coming out? But I mean, do you find any time to write on the side? Like, what's the writing process like for you guys?
It's kind of strange because we used to have a very kind of set, we had a lot of time in the studio, a room a bit like this, with less lights.
Right.
And we'd go there. When we signed the deal, we already had a bunch of songs, but we had time to go in and write, and we would tour, and we would road test songs. So at the moment, we actually find it quite difficult to write on the road, but I tend to do a lot. Like this morning, I was sharing a room with Ben here, and I came out of the shower and he had some music playing. I was like, turn your laptop off, I need to sing this into my dictaphone now. So we carry a dictaphone with us. And at the moment, I think I think the best thing of being on the road is we're having a chance to kind of formulate our ideas and our vision for the next record. And we have got about 15 to 20 songs already, but it's, they were written kind of March, April time, and I think the record had just come out, so we've needed a bit more time to reflect on it really and decide what we want to do next. But we've been chatting quite a lot lately about how much we're itching to get back in the studio and write some songs, but in a band environment, we always write in a band environment.
Cool. So basically each of you brings your own little thing. And what, just generally, you just performed 2 songs. What are they generally about? I don't like to just ask people what they're about. Not that you would tell me anyway, because it would kind of lose something, but... I
guess the focus is ever shifting. What did we just play? We played Us and Ourselves and Headlights. So they're kind of opposite ends of the spectrum, because Headlights was written at the very, very start of Morning Parade, and Us Ourselves was kind of towards the end of the writing for the album. Headlights is you know, a kind of morbid take or perspective on relationships, really, and it's kind of a sickly sweet melody and arrangement, but it's actually it's got a few kind of dark undertones to it. Yeah, a bit dark side to it. You know, with regards to looking at the darker side of relationships and the kind of dependency versus true companionship. You know, love without romance kind of thing. So it's kind of that kind of thing. And Us and Ourselves is just about trying to decide who you are as you're growing up. I think it's kind of a common theme in your early 20s when we were writing the record.
Right.
And you know, you have to be a million different people every day. Every different time you meet someone new, or you have a dinner with your family, or out with your friends, or you're with a record label or whatever. So it's kind of a song about trying to make some sense of that.
Cool. And it's hard to. I would assume with you guys being in your position, it's hard to make sense of what's really going on, right?
Well, you have to kind of, you have to allow yourself to grow and change, but at the same time, not to lose your morals or values. You have to try and have some sort of anchor that you kind of, you know, float around. Yeah.